Hey there, friendlies. How's up? I hope everyone's doing great on this fine, well, in Montreal, cold night. It is currently -7, which is funny because by the time we get to February, I will think -7 is t-shirt weather. But anyways, here we are. Um, in way of welcoming everyone to the stream, I just want to say the usual stuff, which is welcome to the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft live stream, where we got some bevies, we got us some blades, and we do on occasion talk about bushcraft related stuff. I'm just going to pop the chat out so that I can see it all nice and popped out. Jess, what the hell? And before we go too much further, I just want to say to those who are here, either now or later, if you're watching us time shifted to next week or next month or whatevs, welcome, even after the fact. I do love knowing that you're out there, that you're commenting in the doobly-doo, that you're engaging with the content, even when it's too late to engage with it right there. If at any point tonight, those of you who are with us now or later are really, really loving the quality of the content I'm spewing out into the interwebs, then I invite you to investigate the join button, which is actually right about boom. Right click, open in a new tab so that you don't miss the Chitty McChat while you're exploring the 2 tiers of membership that are available to you for your hard-earned cash, as well as what each tier gets you. If you would like to take a more active role in supporting the channel and keeping that light on, as so many in the side chat already have, then I will be right back. Turn it, Jess. What the hell? An excellent way to start a live stream. The first live stream of December, last month of the year, and I'm dicking around. I don't know if I showed you guys this, but the very high-tech way of, like, so this has a gel on it, all right? Like, without this on, it's even worse. So I have this on to lighten it up, but when I have that gel on, Russell complains that it makes me look too shiny and bright. So I have this very high-tech contraption. Oops. Little parchment paper there. So anyway, let's just move right along. How is every little buddy tonight? Welcome to December. Welcome to the live stream. Oh my land, I got many people to say hi to. Just give me a sec here while I pop open the chat. The chat in the window that I can use to show the chat. So first up, hold on now. First up was Mr. SV Raven Flintlock with all the numbers. How you doing, Jim? Saying Audi at 8:46 was probably about a second and a half after I actually finished setting up this this stream. Yep, hold on, fool. Come on now. There we go. So hi. Second was Mr. Peanut Trucker. How you doing, Chris? Chris has the number 2 crown so far. Chris is also a channel mod. So as I always say, be nice or get the road hammer dropped upon you. And then what we got there, I'll tell you what we got there. We got Country Boy, who is a channel mod and a channel hero with the number 3 crown. I'm just going to take my damn shoes off. And then popping in right after was, you're showing up as Fitzy. You got to see to your username. We went into, for those of you who have like the numbers after your names and everything, it's because YouTube did a change recently. Apparently it's about killing off bot accounts or some damn thing. But you can bring back your username. You have to go into. If Marcus is here, he knows exactly where, but he walked us through it last time. I mean, I had already done it when I got the notice, but I couldn't remember. But you can set your handle and your nick back to the way you like it. Okay. So yes, happy Tuesday to everyone. And Fitzy actually says hi to me. Thank you, Destiny. Mr. Peanut Trucker, Chris is in Anniston, Alabama. Delivery in the morning, then home till next Tuesday. That sounds good. That's some days off. Dave the Instigator. I love that name. that is nice work, mister. That's perfect. I realize I'm not really showing any of these on screen, which makes me irritated because I'm just going to show a whole bunch of them in like quick succession. There's Destiny. There's Peanut Trucker telling us where he is. There's David. I love it. There's Mr. Country Boy saying hi. Mr. David, the Instigator, by the way, is a channel mod and a channel hero. As is Country Boy Trapped in the City. I'm unsure if I said that before. There's the Man of the Hour, a hero to many, a bum to some, but a cuddly, warm presence in the lives of everybody involved. Just sort of everyone's just saying hi. There's Christy Grounds. How you doing, Christy? Christy is a channel hero, by the way. Saying hi to one and all. It is -9 where David is. So we're at -7 right now. Our low today is -8. So -9 is a little further than I like to be. Which is funny because I didn't used to be troubled by the cold. I think it's just I'm not ready for it. Like I haven't dug out my boots yet or any of that stuff. I got a winter coat out. But yeah, there we go. There's Mr. Raspberry Rock, Mr. Russell himself, popping in after his vacation. He snuck off to somewhere. I hope you had a great time. I know you had a great time. I know it. I can feel it. I can feel it. Everyone's just saying hi, so I'm just skipping on by, which is gonna help me catch up with the Shady McChat. Where Destiny is, it is about a degree. Oh, it was -23 for almost a week before. Ah, this is a little early for that, as far as I am concerned. Jess, your squirrels hibernate. No, they do not. No. They slow down, though. They slow down because in the months running up to winter, they're booting it because they're trying to find food and they're burying nuts and all that crap. But I mean, I've seen squirrels in the winter. I know it. But you know what? I'm gonna actually keep an eye out this winter because I think we've had this conversation before. I don't know if it was you and me, but someone on a previous live stream, we've had that conversation. And I made the statement that they don't hibernate, but I'm like, yeah, of course I've seen squirrels in the winter. And then I'm like, yeah, can you back that up? You're gonna go to the mats for that statement there, Jess? And I'm like, no, I don't think I can go to the mats for that statement. I do not believe that they hibernate, but I am willing to have my mind changed as I look around in the winter. Okay? I'll let you know in a few months. Country boy. It's not the light that makes you shining bright, it's your personality shining through. Come on, man, you're warming my heart up. Hey, there we go. Hike with Mike. Hike with Mike has not reset his username either. Nice to see you. I hope the weather's treating you well. I hope you're nice and warm down there. Excuse me. -1 where Peanut Trucker is, between Birmingham and Atlanta, Georgia. Beep de bap de boop bam bam. Fitzy got an ad. Sorry, I called you Fitzy because that's what's showing up. Hey, we got Mr. Stephen Grounds. How you doing, Mr. Grounds? Hope all is well for Christy and Steve tonight. Country Boy says, just Google, why did YouTube change my handle? It should take you right to a link that makes it easy to change. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Angry Otter in the house. Hi, crazy cool kids. Hope everyone's having a great evening. I'm having a good evening. I had a day that was scattered. Some elements were good, some elements were bad. I spent $875 at the dentist for one of my children. Thank the gods for insurance, because I will get the vast majority of that back. But it was a surprise, kind of a punch to the wallet all at once. It's okay. It's fine. She's worth it. They're both worth it. It's funny how, like, that kind of a bill for many things related to me, I would be like, am I really going to do this? But like, as soon as it's one of my kids, I just, yep, do it. And like dental, you know, I mean, the kid's 6. Let's give her a leg up. Tea's a good drink. At 10 p.m. I'm not sure what I should pour. Here are my options. Fantabulous Irish. A very smoky Scotch. A very smoky Scotch. A fabulous Irish. An absolute freaking unicorn that I will probably never be able to buy again. It saddens me how low that's gone so far. Or, I mean, I've still got 1 or 2 Americans around, and I'm just trying to finish this one off before it goes bad. Not goes bad, but before it sort of dies. Like I've said before, and I've said more on my whiskey channel than on this one. Come on, fool, open up. Oh, yes. Once your bottle gets to around there, finish it off. Finish it off. You've got like 2 months, and I think I've had this bottle around there for about 4 now. So. Because what happens is, look, whiskey doesn't go bad. What it does is it loses its life. You know, the alcohol dissipates. It oxidizes. You know. So nice. Angry Otter, did I ask how you're doing? I think I did, right? I don't want to like forget nobody. Forget nobody. Nobody. As for me. Stop singing, you damn fool. Russell has not yet received the goods that Destiny sent. Man on the street says, nice green screen. Where's my green screen? I don't got no green screen. I would love to be set up for a green screen, except I don't know if I would use it very often. What I want to do is in the back room, I want to set up a very small studio space, okay, where I've got like this camera and maybe not this computer, but a computer set up so I can do what we're doing, and have like a wooden wall behind me and 3D print the logo of each of my channel, but yay big, nothing too huge, that I can hang back there so that I can just shoot all my indoor whiskey reviews, or part of like, say I'm doing a knife review, I can shoot the description part indoors there and like, oh, nice knife. Look at this. It's very cool. And then go outside to do the testing, like I did back when I had stuff to test and was testing and shooting videos. He said wistfully. Wistfully. If I can ever get the money together for that Nesmuk, I will definitely do a video on that. But yeah, but no, I don't have a green screen. This is actual. This is pen. Planner. Other side of planner. Yep. I want to live on that ship, as do many guys of my generation. Ain't no green screen in my home. Where'd that come from? Angry Otter. Seen plenty of black squirrels running around Casa Loma in Toronto in the snow in February. So no hibernation. I have seen very few black squirrels in Quebec. Let me tell you, the no browns, no blacks. I think some browns up reds, not browns, red maybe up north. But those big gray imports sort of knock the crap out of the those sort of the more indigenous black and red squirrels. But okay, that's good to know. Country Boy is saying evening to Al. I also say evening to Al. It's nice to see you here. I felt like I hadn't seen you in a minute. I was wondering if you were doing okay. So I was really glad to hear back from you when I pinged you. So when someone goes away for a while, like if ever I disappear for a while, it's because things have really piled up on top of me. And when things pile up on top of me, I need to cut the world off. I need to, you know, I'll read some science fiction books to escape or whatever. But like, so if I'm not around for a while, I'm just, no, I'm not okay, but I will be okay later. And then when I'm back, it's great. So when somebody disappears for a while, my first instinct is to not bug them. And at least twice, when they've finally been around again, I've been like, hey, I was kind of worried about you. Were you okay? And like, how come you didn't ping me? I was like, oh, because I'm wired differently and I can't always see the way that people who are wired normally see things. Sorry. So, anyways, uh, anyways, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're doing great. I should have cut my hair before this. Oof, look at that. I'm looking like a hippie. What is with all that hair? Oh my God. I want to actually like shave my hair instead of just using the buzzer, but I'm not brave enough to. I mean, because I use a straight razor, right? So if I slip, it's like taking a slice of ham off, right? So maybe I'll just buy one of those cheesy multi-bladed things and try that. Like the first day of a weekend when I'm not gigging, so that if I wreck it, it'll have a couple of days for for me to just hide in the basement. Don't look at me, I'm horrible. And then come back out to the world when it sort of looks normal again and go back to buzzing. um Chris says they don't hibernate. My mother's seen them all weather. Oh, and she feeds them. I like to feed squirrels to the local hawk. Such a terrible thing to say. Such an awful thing to say. Such a funny thing to say. And now Mr. Al says hi. Yeah, good to see Al here again. Nice. David says that the squirrels do not hibernate there either. Like, are there squirrels that in certain areas that do hibernate? Like maybe because they just get too tired. Like as soon as I said hibernate, I got this image of a bear just snoozing through the winter and like shuffling a little bit. Maybe she's got a couple of young snuggled up with her or something. And then I got really tired. uh, give me 1 second, people. I don't know. I thought that was going to be like an emergency call, but there's nothing there. So never mind. Where am I? Destiny says, so Jess, explain the knife post you made. Sorry, you don't have a blade yet. So, all right. I'm doing some long-term planning. Okay. For 2026, I need to go into massive spending underdrive. I need to. Um, so what I would like to do, um, there are video ideas that I've discussed with you guys. Okay, and lack of follow through has been an issue, both because it's endemic in the neurodivergent community, shall we say, but also some of the coolest ideas require purchases, require money expenditure and stuff. So what I am going to do is, for this year, shoot a video of anything, but I mean, moving right along, I'm going to take stock of what some of those video ideas I've discussed with you peeps are, and decide which ones I really want to do, like prioritize, and which ones I don't mind if it takes me longer to do. So the two biggest ones here that when I brought it up and discussed it, I got the most excited about were the series on the Nesmith Trio. Okay. Do I have my Nesmith? My One more time with feeling. Do I have my Nesmith book here? Give me a sec. It's Kephart. Is that? Where's my damn Nesmith? No, that's Louvre. I know, I'm off screen. Sorry, peeps. Huh. Okay. I got Kephart right there. I got Louvre. I got Wiseman. Where the funky McEachern is Nesmith? See how I was about to say an F word and I messed with it? Okay. Do you guys know the Kephart Trio? Who knows it and who doesn't? Like, should I find a screen, an image to share? He said, already looking for an image to share. Okay, here's an image. Oh, that image is no good. Why you got to be letting me down? You great big jerk. It's a terrible thing to say. What's with all these terrible things to say tonight? I mean, what? Be polite, Holmes. There's a T-shirt with the Nesmith Trio on it. Hello. Not buying it though. Okay. So, Destiny, this is all pertaining to answering your question. Okay. I shall now share an image, an image. Share screen. Let's proceed. Why do you always have to? Yes, allow, for God's sakes. Okay. I really hate the hoops that I have to go through to share screen on this app. Let me tell you. So this is the Nesmith Trio here. Okay. It's a little sort of double bit axe, a double bit hatchet, actually, like a little, kind of like a blazing axe, maybe. Ground in the traditional way. So one side is very fine, for working on, the typical woodcraft stuff, and the other side is blunt for um, more robust chopping, maybe roots, or maybe bone, like, because he would be hunting food while he's out there, stuff where a blunter edge. And traditionally, these doubles were always done with a fine edge and a blunt edge, because some woodcraft does sort of take your axe down near the ground, or grubbing around, or whatever. Um, and then he had, this is what's known as the Nesmith style knife. You see, with that curved blade. And then there's like his little pocket knife, what I guess we would call a boat knife, or a canoe knife, or a pen knife, or whatever. Uh, what excites me about doing a series of these videos, like the first one would be with the straight up Nesmith trio, using it the way he used it, okay? Because your modern day bushcrafter uses the belt knife in a very specific way, and may not even have the little pen knife, okay? You use your belt knife for many things: carving and notching, and sometimes even chopping, right? If you've got a lanyard on it, you can. It ain't great, but it is better than nothing, um, and all that stuff. Nesmith used the belt knife for his food prep, or skinning game, or stuff like that. And for carving and notching, he used the pen knife. Like, because those pen knives, like, grandpa's pen knife, he used to use it for whittling with, right? And so it was that same philosophy. And I find that compelling, because it's very, very foreign to the way I use my bush tools. Now I have the axe. I inadvertently ended up with a little double bit axe that is from a very sought after brand that no longer exists. In fact, if I'd known that Destiny was going to ask this question, I would have brought it out before starting. But anyway, so I'm just going to take this off the screen. The screen. I said the screen because, of course, I did. I can take this off. So what I'm going to do is put together like a solid plan for each of the two videos, or in the Nesmith case, sort of video series that I really want to do. And I'll spend this year prepping, like planning specific purchases rather than just buying stuff, because I can't. Because at this rate, at this case is not grammatically correct. I just can't actually make the purchases, but that means that I can take this time to really plan. But I want to know if any of you guys have philosophies of any of the stuff that I look at, because I find it's less and less. How do I want to say this? Looking up reviews online becomes less sort of, I don't want to say trustworthy, because I don't mean that people are being crooked, but I'd rather hear from people I know who use the stuff than some dude writing an article and I don't know if he is sponsored, right? Um, one of the reasons I want like that traditional Nesmith knife so much is because I want to spend a weekend with those tools, because he didn't have a saw. Why didn't he have a saw? Well, when that guy was out there over a century ago, um, what a wood saw was a great big honking thing that took two people, right? There were no silky saws. There were no Baco Laplanders. Should get one of those too, so I can compare the two. There were no. I mean, there were buck saws, most likely, right? But the saw never appeared in his in his usual kit. And so I want to see how that would work. Use the belt knife, that one there, for my food prep and stuff, and find a little pen knife, like Grandpa's pen knife, to do my notching and stuff, and see if, like, do we do all that with the belt knife and consider folders no good for woods work because we've been sold the idea of what the belt knife is for and what a little folding knife is for? Or is there a reason why we've transitioned away from those little foldy guys for the woods work, right? And transitioned into belt knives that are big, honking, robust bruisers that can handle anything. I have ideas and concepts, and it's all theory, right? So the idea I had was like 2, 3. I had originally thought maybe 4, but like no, that's sort of like what Jackson did with The Hobbit, right? There was no reason why that was that many movies. Like, because my original idea was the Nesmith trio, and then change one element, sorry, and then change another element, and then end up with the fully modern take on the Nesmith trio. I think that's too many episodes. Like, I don't think the content would be good enough if I made just those little. So maybe like one episode where I use the Nesmith trio that I can't afford, but I can plan for. Then one episode where I talk about the weaknesses that I found, if any, by the way, in that trio and what I would want more, and then do an episode using my take on the trio, like what I would consider the Rain Dance trio. Sounds like a world beat band, the Rain Dance trio. I missed an opportunity there. Anyway, so that's why I'm not buying anything right now, but I'm planning. And I mean, there's a lot of people here who know a lot about knives, and so that I think those links were from Bushcraft Canada. So Bushcraft Canada has a lot of Nesmith knives. The Jokers are slightly more affordable than the Brisa, but I don't love the blade shape quite. It doesn't seem to really hit that Nesmith shape as much as the Brisa or I wish they still sold that kit, because you could get a great knife, I think, for a lower price, and I would be able to say I worked on this. But anyway, so that's why that's there. I was hoping for some of you guys to have opinions on those. Like, yeah, that's nice, but check this one out instead over here for about the same price, and then I would sort of plan that. And I'm just gonna, I have a plan to purchase his page in this planner. Where is it? Do I have a bookmark upon it? Do I got a bookmark on it? I mean, I told you that's how I used my Amazon wish list as well, right? Oh, Fitzy, I said I was going to show you that to get some opinions, didn't I? Purchase list, right? So I'll list things here, and when it becomes possible, I'll get set up. The other one I'm really excited about was, you remember a long time ago, like a year ago, I said I really want to do an episode where I spend like a weekend in the woods with 1970s era gear, or gear that has not changed since then. So like I would use my little Primus classic stove, because ain't changed in God knows how long. David the Instigator, give me $10. Thank you very much. Why did you give me $10? Why are you giving me money? I mean, I'm not going to say no to money, but why'd you give me $10? I guess I should try to catch up with what's happening in the side chat. Well, thank you very much. if I was a certain bourbon channel, I would pour out, and ting every time someone gave me a donation. Those guys got drunk because they got a lot of donations. Oh yeah, like maybe one of those old North Face was the brown label backpacks. Like those old ugly ass, heavy ass external frame backpacks that everyone had in the 70s, something like that. Like really, like I would wear a lumber jacket and jeans. Like I'm talking go whole hog into the 1970s. Like I would get like an old tent, you know. I don't know if I'd really want to go for an old sleeping bag. I might for that go really rustic and just bring like a good wool blanket and some kind of under padding or something. But I mean that's going to be money, right? Because apparently those old North Face backpacks have become kind of desirable. So I'm afraid of like stepping into collector's territory for the stuff I would need for that weekend, and that I don't want to do because I don't want to spend collector's money on stuff because I don't want to collect. I really don't want to collect. Where was I? Yes. So anyway, let me just sort of catch up. Christy asked Russell if he had a good time on his vacation. I also hope that he had a good time. So how long ago was that? That was 9:15. We're currently at 9:39. Okay, I'm gonna just sort of try to. Angry Otter says, "Ouch! Dental care is such a scam. Thousands of dollars for them to drill into yank out a tooth." Yeah. So my kids both have very complicated mouths, and I don't just mean their attitudes. There's like spacers and anyway, but yeah, it's yeah, and it's right before Christmas when I'm supposed to be spending money on gifts, right? Mr. Marcus popping in saying hi to everybody. I have got to stop doing that every time I say the word everybody. Russell just discovered he can dive, which is cool. I cannot. Christy says that the only blade she has is the one that I sent her. Like, yeah, I remember that. I wish I could do more of those giveaways. David says do a blend of all of them. All of what? What did I say? I mean, this is because I'm so late on the chat. Or unless he's talking to Russell or something. Something like that. I do believe that I forgot to say that Marcus is a channel hero. Oh, I see. That's what you guys are talking about. Mix the Scotch and the Irish together, and you have a large group of Scotch Irish who emigrated to America, probably Canada in the 1800s. Little known history fact. Yep. In fact, little known fact also is that this is boring. Do I want to go into this? Montreal has an extremely dense Irish descended population, like more so than Boston, in fact. Much of it is actually on the French side because when these ships would arrive, there were all these children on board whose parents had died of sickness in the transit, and the English communities didn't want to take them in because these kids were Catholic, and Anglo Montreal was Protestant. So, which is why there's so much like red hair and freckles on the French side of the Quebec, especially around Montreal, of the Quebec population. Like all these kids got absorbed into French Canadian families, became francophone, and just all traces of their former, English speaking or Irish speaking lives gone, and they just sort of became this like. So there's this there's this silent, Irish presence, because it was just, I mean, it's there in the blood, but I mean, culturally, traditional French Canadian music is descended from Celtic music anyway, right? There's fiddles, there's jigs, there's reels, because of the Breton influence, right? Bretagne was a Gaelic speaking part of France. In fact, there's still a little bit of Breton spoken. I'm about to get really boring, so we're just going to move right the hell along. So we got 2 instigators here, as Destiny says. Susie Q, hi. You feed the squirrels all winter. They sit on your open back porch. Look, they're cute. If they weren't constantly going after my bird seed, then I wouldn't dislike them so. Because I do think they're cute little furries, and I imagine that when they sort of hunker down to go to sleep on a cold winter's night with their tail wrapped around them like that, I imagine that if they had the capacity to find things cuddly, that would be absolutely heavenly. I need a little bit of water because I'm getting a little scratchy. Just a little scratchy. Ahem. So yeah, hi Susie. Nice to see you. I'm just popping on back, checking on out. Where the hell is the hell? Where are we? I am irate. Everything just sort of jumped. I will find it. I will find it. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Dave says, is everybody ready for Christmas? 22 shopping days left. I am not. I am very close. But 2 things have recently happened that have made it a little harder. Being defrauded via my phone bill, and spending all that money on my kids' teeth. I'm pretty close, though. I'm in good shape. It's going to be great. I'm not excited about Christmas this year, though. I wasn't excited about Christmas for a long, long time, but then as soon as we had kids, I could see it through their lens again, and I got sort of some of that back. But some Christmas songs still really get me. Like some Christmas songs, I have this deep association with too, with like my childhood. And for someone like me who has virtually no memories before my mid-20s, when a song or a smell brings something back, it's a big moment. I prefer carols to songs. I have a big thing for like the crooners, Bing Crosby and guys like that, just because of they were a big part of my childhood. Those were not carols necessarily; those were songs, but I have no love for Santa Baby. I freaking hate that song. I have no love for, Baby It's Cold Out. Shut up. Not because I don't think that the messaging is all off or anything like that. I mean, it is a little bit, but I just don't think it's a good song. I just don't think it's a strong song. As far as I'm concerned, Mariah Carey can sit on a rake. I'm so tired of hearing that. It's time That was so unkind. Oh, I'm such an ass jacket. Back on track. But yeah, so I'm mostly ready, but not quite ready. I'm halfway ready. I'm more than halfway ready. I'm say 3/4 ready. 2/3. 3/4. It's 3/4. Which is better than not ready. Mike says we have large fox squirrels in Florida, but they're endangered. I have never even heard of such a thing. I've never even heard of such a thing. Angry Otter says nothing wrong with some me time. That is the truth. That is absolutely the truth. I don't get a lot of me time though, but post 9 p.m. every night. Well, when I don't fall asleep, putting the squeak to bed, it's fine. Destiny's Christmas shopping is all done. How come? I'm not surprised that all your Christmas shopping is done. I mean, you got it dialed in. You got everything dialed in. You got a man bringing you charcuterie boards while you're watching, like Books Fest and the Jesse Fest. So, you got a book of quotable quotes going. You can organize. Marcus says you can almost braid that mop. I know it's awful. It's awful. It feels like a lint brush. Angry Otter, I have not gone to Disney World and gone to the Millennium Falcon. I have not. I have never wanted to go to Disney. And then they put all this Star Wars stuff, and then I was like, damn it. But it's just been too expensive for 4 and everything. And now I've said before here, Bluegrass Bigfoot has become a member. That's cool. Thank you very much. No, I will not pour a dram for that to celebrate that. Because the drams come at 10. And we celebrate that by saying, thank you, Mr. Thank you, person. I appreciate it massively. And when I do pour my dram at 10, I will do cheers. Cheers to you. Yeah, as I've said here, they're never going to let me across the border. Not after I've torched that fool in Washington as publicly in socials as I have. So I don't think I'll get to see it anytime soon. It may happen at some point, but I'd like to see it though. I'd like to see how good a job they've done, because I got one thing you got to say about Disney is they know how to make it right. Like if you walk in, they know how to make it feel like Star Wars. They did this like hotel resort thing that kind of flopped though. So let me backpedal on that just a little bit. But anyway, have you gone, Otter? Have you gone? David says nobody is wired normally. I do like to tell myself that. I do. Telling myself that absolutely helps in the darker moments. There are some dark moments, let me tell you. Slice of ham. What is that? Oh, I just remembered what that was. Oh, gross. Why do I talk sometimes? Grow out your hair and join a hair band. Then you don't need to worry about shaving the head. You know what you just reminded me of? So I wasn't really a hair band, but I was in a metal band back when metalheads had a lot of, right? I mean, this is like a long ass time ago. And I was standing there on stage one night and just, pounding out fat bass, beats, not beats, fat bassitude. As a heavy metal bass player, you're not doing your job if you're not scrambling the insides of everyone in the first 4 rows, right? Anyway, so I was doing my job and I glanced out, and I had sort of come from more of a punk ska background. And so I looked at it and I saw all these people who had been like teasing their, in hairspray. And I just thought, I just imagined like throwing a match into the middle of the mosh pit and just watching like concentric rings of fire as people's heads ignited. And I thought it was funny. And then I was like, art school really has done me dirty. Anyway. It's weird that I remembered that. I don't remember anything, but that just sort of popped in my head when you said hairband. Marcus has a hilarious squirrel story, but you better not share here. A squirrel was harmed in it by my wife, who loves nature, and she was devastated. Oh no. Oh, don't share here. I don't want YouTube to jump all over me. But I can imagine. I don't want to sounds like the Nat phone went off. What's a Nat phone? What's a Nat phone? Squirrels are people too. Be nice. Yikes, squirrels are food, not people. They work great for stew. As I said, I believe on Russell's Discord, in this province, you're not allowed to touch a squirrel without a trapper's license. And I do not have a trapper's license. Well, unless you have a trapper's license or you are native. I have a friend on Gochnawage who will occasionally catch a squirrel if he's out in the woods for the day and doing stuff, and lunchtime rolls around. But I have never bagged a squirrel, and I'm not about to go looking for a trapper's license just so I can bag a squirrel, because you can't do it within city limits anyway. So share the image. What image is that? Oh, that was for about the Nesmic trio, right? Because I'm that late. I'm that far behind. Is that what we're talking about? Yes. Yes. Marcus is asking David if he got a lot of snow over the last few days. We did not get a lot of snow, but we got snow today. But it's not like it's maybe 3 centimeters. Maybe. Jim says fine edge for woodworking, coarser edge for holding up to breaking bone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. David says 17 watching and only 9 thumbs up. Come on, people. I told you guys. Roadhammer will be dropped on you, and the Dave Hammer, and the Scott Hammer. Stuff like that. Apparently now there are 10 thumbs up. So that's good to see. I'm just sort of scrolling past. Ad, okay. Got an ad. Everyone's saying hi to Jim. Chrissy says, what am I pouring? I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's 4 minutes too, eh? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What do I have that's the lowest? You know what? I'm going to pour that bourbon. I know that I don't like showing bourbon on screen, but it's down there. I got to finish it off. So when I was buying bourbon, this is a legit unicorn in many states. My wife saw it and said, "Hey, you want that?" And I said, "Bring it on home, honey bunny. Bring it on home." I'm gonna be sad when this bottle is over. But as Scott knows, there's a lot of Canadian bourbon now as well. So this is 50% alcohol by volume, which is nice, which the Americans would call 100%, 100 proof, and I guess the British would call 70 degrees proof. I think 100 US is about 70 something. This is bottled in bond, which means that it was. Are you gonna work? Are you gonna frickin' work? Oh, I gotta hide my face. That's why. So that means it was stored in a bonded warehouse There's also rules about it all has to come from the same year, the same crop, I believe. I'm a little fuzzy on my bourbon rules, but it's a very nice color because, of course, for bourbon, you're not allowed to color it. You're not allowed to add anything. Beautiful. So, Christy, I have poured my whiskey. What are you having tonight, Christy? What's Jim having? What's everyone having? Tell me what you're drinking. Jim is headed home now. Love to listen if only there was audio. I got audio. Missed an opportunity there. What was I talking about? I'm so late on the chat. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay. So that's why. All right. All right. So David gave me $10. Put it towards the trio. I shall do that. Okay. I'll spend some time. Jim lost the audio. Scheiße. Oop. I said shit in German. Fitzy got an ad in French. That's interesting. I mean, I get ads in French all the time, but that's because of where I am. It surprises me that you got an ad in French. Grace. Grace X Martin. How you doing, Grace? Nice to see you. I'm late, so you've probably been here for like 10 or 20 minutes. Exactly, in fact. 20 minutes exactly. David says that walking is his favorite pastime when he's in Florida. I like to walk. Oh, yeah. You got an external frame backpack, eh? Yeah. I do not. I have one that's almost, but it's not like the 70s sort of nylon bag kind of thing. It's a hunting backpack. It's very sort of high tech. It's like a brushed fabric. Why am I yawning? So it wouldn't work for my 70s weekend at all. I have no idea what Russell's talking about here. Capital knockers? What the hell does that even mean? What are you talking about, Russell? Beto, hi. How you doing? Beto is in the house, and you've probably all already said hi to him because I'm so freaking late. Just scrolling down a little bit. Just a little tiny bit. There we are. Okay. What do we got? I'm just skipping down because, oh my Lord, stop yawning. It's just everyone saying hi, so I'm just going to skip past that. See if anyone pops in who I haven't said hi to yet. Oh no, it jumped. We're back to this. Went from 944, bounced back to 919. It's 10:01, so hold on. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of again. Why does it do that? Why must you do that? Where's the scrolling going? Oh. Okay, well, like Mike says, less is truly more. Many times it is the simple things that make us happy, and that is good medicine. I believe that. I really do. Oh, hey, Tenenbaum's here. How you doing? I was just talking about classic camping stuff from the 70s. What I've been talking about, hold on, it's 10 p.m. So, this first little sip, I'm saying cheers to Bluegrass Bigfoot. Cheers, Bluegrass Bigfoot. That was supposed to sound like, but anyway. Bluegrass Bigfoot became a member, which is nice to see. There it is. Welcome to the circus. Welcome to the jungle. It's stronger than I am. David is anti-Christmas. He knows that's a terrible thing to say, but it has become so commercial. Truth. Chris says, glad I don't have to Christmas shop. We do send out Christmas cards for people that have addresses. Speaking of addresses, so I think maybe next year I'll bring the P.O. box back. I stopped using it because I was getting like nothing and it's expensive as shift. But it's better than just sort of throwing my address out there into the ether and, you know, just trusting that everyone I meet is on the, is on the up and up or whatever this, it is. But Chris just reminded me of that. And it'd be nice to just be able to, send letters to people and have my P.O. box there and stuff. So I'll see how it goes. Fitzu says, nuts on the charcuterie board and no nutcracker. Things are about to go down at Cass, said Dave Fitzgerald. You see, he should have put like a little mallet there at least. That would be cool. Little mallet, go pop. There we go. There's one walnut. Pop. There's a hazelnut. Well, a hazelnut might make more than one pop. Country boy. Destiny's hubby's about to get a beat down. Chateau de Fitzgerald. I like it. I like it. Mike says, I go out for a hike in the woods to get some me time. Best place to be. I agree. Absolutely agree. Yeah. I was sure to sort of stop there. Don't want to go any further than that. David says, when I cross the border, I'm going to say I'm friends with Jesse Corbett. I'll let you all know what happens. No, you won't. They're gonna render you. I love it. Marcus is gonna go bail you out. That's fine then. It's great. Tenenbaum says, I hit a chipmunk with a frisbee once. The chipmunk was fine, but surprised, as was I. That's hilarious. I mean, not for the poor chipmunk, but I mean, it's a great story. No Shave November is over. Fair enough. Is it No Shave November or is it no? Yeah, the late 80s when us metalheads ruled the world. How come Michael was more into British metal than American metal? So you're like Ozzy and guys like that. Christy's having a Jim Beam, a Bourbon. All right. Chris is having a grilled cheese and a zero sugar root beer. Chris, you're bringing me back, man. What I love, de temps en temps, whatever that is, from time to time, is a grilled cheese sandwich with like a tomato soup. Especially if the grilled cheese is, I mean, I guess like the true comfort food grilled cheese is like, 2 slices of palm or whatever I guess down there you would call it Wonder Bread, with like American cheese but I've always liked it to be something a little chunkier with the bread, like a French bread or a sourdough or something, and like slice up some cheddar and put that in there. I used to add ketchup inside before doing it. I don't do that anymore because I'm an adult now. I have put bacon in on occasion, but like the true comfort food is a straight up grilled cheese on a nice bread with sliced cheddar and like a nice thick tomato soup. I'm gonna make soup this week because now I've just given myself an absolute yen for soup. Country Boy says that E.H. Taylor is such a nice color. So pissed I missed that purchase by a day. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. It's expensive as hell for bourbon, but it's a very nice beverage. Christy at the time was saying slancha, and cheers to David. Excuse me. Russell's not a religious person, but he loves Christmas. I am sort of the same. You know, I'm not religious. I mean, I worship at the altar of science, but I have warm feelings about Christmas due to memories I'm not even sure if I really have. But I do, like, I have these flashes. I have a flash of when I was living with my mom. So, I mean, I was a kid. You had these these bulbs that were not those little LEDs like we all have now, but were like actual like light bulbs with that sort of that shape to them, right? Blunt end, right? They weren't like fake flames or anything, but and they were painted colors. Like the glass was painted or maybe dipped in colors. And I have yet to find a set of LED Christmas lights that capture the feeling that those old lights gave me as a kid. And like it's funny because my kids are not gonna, they don't have that same touchstone, right? To them, LEDs are what they've grown up with. They have no idea. Those bulbs were hot though, because those were like straight up, incandescent lights, right? So you don't go grabbing onto a light that's been burning all night. And for God's sakes, keep your tree watered, right? But yeah. And like I have all these memories, I've French Canadian family, right? So Christmas Eve was the big one, right? That's when you would open your gifts. Um, New Year's, that's when Grandpapa would bless the children, right? We would all go and kneel down around him, and he would bless all the children. I mean, I wasn't brought up Catholic, but the rest of the family was. Blessing us for the year to come. Because I mean, in Quebec, Catholic is kind of it's the baseline. It's what everyone assumes. So if you're brought up Unitarian like I was, it's like you're what? Like I don't want to talk about it. It's too complex. Russell, I recognize that. As soon as you said you're not religious but you love Christmas, I knew exactly where you were going. Because I live in the exact same zone for sure. Yup. Is Russell's tree up and has he decorated yet? Is your tree up yet, Russell? Chris, yeah, that's exactly why. That's exactly it. There are many reasons why I should not give my real address out. So like I'm thinking that spending the bucks it takes to have to get that PO box back might just be worth it, you know. Fitzy says, "Yeah, bring the PO box back," and I have and add an Amazon wish list. I have one. In fact, I was going to show it to you this week. Remember, Fitz? It's because you keep showing up as Fitzy. So if I call you Fitzy, it's because that's what it says there, and that's where my mind goes. I said I was going to show it to you to get opinions on the stuff I had on it, right? Um, a lot of the stuff when I looked at it earlier, a lot of the stuff I had on it is just like no longer available, which shows you how often I look at it. But I use these lists as a way of just, I've already said this. I use these lists as a way of just keeping track of things that I would like to get. you know, and when I get one, I check it off the list. Well, I don't even know if you can share them. Um, so yeah, okay, I'll share it. So I mean, you guys can see the boring ass shift I have on it, and like because I no longer have them on here, but I used to have all these little bushcraft knives and stuff. In fact, you know what? There's probably no reason to have shared that because I took all the knives off. And there was an axe on there too. Oh, I've taken everything off. Oh, it's because none of them were available anymore. Um, so never mind. Don't bother looking. Whoa, that nesting shot glass set is now $148. Nope. Boom. I'm taking you out of there. I'm not spending that. That was 55 when I first looked at it. So interesting that all my bush stuff, none of that bush stuff was available anymore. Except for a Fox 40 classic whistle. And that I wanted to get a couple of those for when I go paddling with the girls. Okay, so let's make this the task of the night then. Has anyone bought a solid bushcraft or camping item off of Amazon that I should add to this list as a future purchase? Oh no, when I posted that it jumped everything. Crumbs. Sorry, hold on, let me I believe so. I mean, for package mail, I've still got the PO box, the one that's in my YouTube profile. That's for package mail only. I cannot receive letter mail there. I found out the hard way when I got an angry ass phone call. No, I went to pick something up and they were like, "You're not allowed to take letter mail at that address." I said, "Oh," I said, "The next one gets sent back." Oh. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, I got rid of all the bushcraft stuff because I guess it all got discontinued. Like stuff doesn't last long on Amazon, I find. If it's not like books, well, even then sometimes. Oh yeah, that's where I put the molcajete I want. That's gonna happen one day. It's just they're expensive, you know. So even just the shipping is a nightmare on them. And they come from Mexico. Oh yeah, I've got speakers on here to replace these god awful ones. That's sort of a studio thing, but you know, yeah, boring. Um, Shawnee forgot it was Tuesday. How you doing, Shawnee? Um, I'm just looking at what Russell said. His tree's not up yet. Usually, City Girl and he put it up together, which is coming later this year than usual. So I'll see if she wants me to put it up beforehand. We don't have ours up yet either. Ours hasn't been delivered yet. We always have a real tree, and we used to go and buy them. There was like a charity at one of the schools somewhere, but we've started just ordering. There's this service. I don't remember what it's called because I don't control it because she, who must not be named, just has a better brain for keeping track of all this stuff. But like they dress up as nutcrackers and they come and they bring the tree and they'll even put it in the corner for you if you want. You mean in boîte postale? Yes, in boîte postale. Yeah, the boîte postale I have there is only for. I've already said that. Shut up, Jesse. For God's sakes. So bluegrass, new account, new handle, same old me. Okay, so who were you before then? And why new handle? Why new account, new handle? Gruyere makes a good grilled cheese. That is legit because it makes a great. So the Madame uses Gruyere in. It gets used in like a Haitian style macaroni and cheese, mac and cheese, I guess. So um, I can see that being fabulous between two slices, especially like a sourdough or a rye. Mouth watering, but yeah. Peanut Chocolate says we use Texas toast. It's thicker than regular bread, which we don't eat. We make our own bread and Munster cheese. It's real cheese. Sounds good to me. Shawnee's doing a chicken veggie soup with sweet potato dumplings tomorrow. Made the broth today. So here's what I'm gonna do. We got a shift ton of tomatoes from our garden, and we still have a crap ton, a huge tray. So I'm gonna roast them, probably with like a head of garlic in the middle and maybe some carrots or some damn thing. Uh, yeah, I'll definitely add something. Peppers, carrots. Should I add a potato? Should I do a potato? Like boil a potato. Back on target. So I'm gonna roast up these tomatoes with the garlic and whatever else, maybe some onion or something like some shallot. And then I'm just gonna whirl it up in my I'm sorry. In Quebec we call it a robot. You know, it's like this. You hit and it mixes. It blends. It blends. It blends. It blends. It's a blender. That's a big deal. Okay, I knew I could get through it if I just kept on trying. Yeah, so I'll just roast them all up and then throw it through a blender, make it a nice sort of, you know, nice thick soup. Have it with a grilled cheese. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I made boeuf bourguignon for supper on last night. I tell a lie. I actually made it on Sunday because it took me like 3 hours, but it was for supper last night. It's not even really a bourguignon. Like, I mean, it is, but it's not a traditional one. Okay, bottle's done. Saved from mediocrity. Um, Anyways, I did a good job. Cody loved it. She said, "Oh my god, you made stew." She has good memories of stew. Like she said, "I remember when you made stew." She getting all reminiscent. It wasn't the same stew as I used to make, but it was pretty damn good. How is Camembert doing? All is well. I'd forgotten about that. I had forgotten about Camembert. David? Shawnee says we have a different vibe this Christmas for many reasons. We have a tiny potted tree on the table instead of getting a real big tree because we have a 7-month-old kitten in the house now. Yeah, cats and trees, eh? For me, it's an interesting. Start again. Um, oof, I just had a real glitch there, like a full on um, um, the words. Oh wow, I'm glitching so hard right now. Hold on, it's gone. Yeah, Christmas is a little bittersweet for me right now because I've got like 2 friends with stage 4 cancer right now, and so I just like I think that for those families, this is probably going to be the hardest, the beginning of the hardest Christmases of their lives. You know, um, so everything feels just a little more precious to me this year. Maybe that's why I'm Yeah. Yeah, it's a precious time. I keep getting reminded of, I mean, not to sound too Buddhist or anything, but like how life is alone, and the people and loves and experiences we have are they're gifts given to us, you know? And I would like to start living my life as with that as a central tenet. Life is alone. The people I love are gifts. Make something of this twirl that I'm on. Especially because I mean, you know, there are people close to me who are in a dark, dark spot. So it's a little different for me too. And I would love to have a tiny cat. Love it. Allergic to cats? Fine. Still, I would love a tiny ass cat. They're so precious. They're so magical. Hey, they're like toddlers, right? They're like sort of moving around. Yeah. Destiny knows what Texas toast is. I have no idea what Texas toast is, but I'm gonna, if I remember to, look it up afterwards to see what all this is about. I do like a nice thick bread though. Oh, you've got those lights? Nice. Inherited from your mom. Yeah, even my mom doesn't have them anymore. I miss them. There was like, okay, so I've got this memory. Um, I want to say the specific year, but this happened every year for the long, long, long time. Um, living room, because my sister and I used to sleep in the living room during the Christmas season because because the glow of the tree, all warmth. I mean, we could never afford a place that had a fireplace or anything, but the warmth of the tree gave us that light. With those, especially with those lights, uh, like I'm talking about with Grace. Um, so we got our blankets and we're on the floor in the living room, and the tree's got those lights. It's a warmer light than you'll ever get off an LED, let me tell you, and a hotter light. You don't have to heat that room as much. And on the CBC, A Boy's Christmas in Wales is playing, read by, oh my land, my brain, read by, oh, I used to love hearing this guy's voice. Hold on, let me look it up. Maybe in Wales. It was Christmas in Wales. Very good time. Uh, it's a nostalgic prose piece written by Welsh poet Dylan Thomas. Yes, I know. Um, Originally emerging from a 1945 BBC radio talk titled Memories of Christmas, and later expanded and recorded by Thomas in 1952. But this is not what I'm thinking of. Come on, gimme, gimme, gimme. No, I don't care about the TV movie. I want to know about the CBC. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a search for CBC. See if it shows up. It does not. Tabernacle. Whoa. Oh no, who was that? Jesus. I do not remember his name. It's a child's Christmas in Wales, but it's not a boy's. Does anyone on this call, it's not a call, does anyone here remember who used to, like the recording of a child's Christmas in Wales that was on every Christmas time on the CBC? Who the hell was that? but like the voice was pure ass ASMR, man. Put you right to sleep. Oh, I do like what Christy's talking about here. A split pea, lentil, loaded baked potato, maybe even tomato basil with grilled cheese Sammy. I had a baked potato again for the first time in years recently, and I need to get that back into the rotation. Especially, I would like to stuff it. A little ground beef, some cheese. Cam is the drunken rodent that lives in Jesse's room. Hmm. Good question, Johnny. For me, it's the straight up the what's the classic peppermint? This is really bugging me, folks. It's really bugging me. Maybe it was read by Dylan Thomas. Maybe it was just that old ass recording, but I don't think so. This is just gonna wreck me. Am I just gonna have to call my mom? Is David Calderisi? Who cares? It's a great memory. Yeah, Shawnee. I'm a classicist. I like the absolute the classic candy cane. I think it's a peppermint. You know. Yeah, every CBC page I click on for this poem for this reading, it goes to like a 404. So I'm giving up on it. Fitzy says sink. I don't know what that is talking about. Root beer candy cane. Holy snap! I gotta try that. What did I put here? Oh, that was my stupid list that doesn't have any goddamn bushcraft stuff in it anymore. Um, Peanut Trucker seconds the root beer flavored candy cane. I've never. You know what I have had was those those candy sticks with the twisty that you could buy like in sort of candy stores that are like general store themed or British themed or whatever, where you could get all those candy sticks. And I did have the root beer, and I was like, this is life. Christy asks Destiny if everyone knows her other alter ego, Sandy. I think Facebook just became clearer to me. Like you said, Sandy, and I think Facebook or is it Instagram? I think it's Facebook. Just became much clearer to me. Can I put dribs and drams stuff on? I mean, I guess I could. I mean, I'm not, I'm not asking you guys to buy me stuff. I just wanted sort of your opinions on stuff. Ravens, I don't want to buy any new bushcraft gear except just a 24-inch saw blade that I can make a buck saw out of. I have what I need. For saws and stuff, what I would like at this point is mostly stuff that I can do like an A/B video with. Like for instance, I have a silky saw, so I would like to get a Baco Laplander. I wonder if they sell those on Amazon. So that I can just do a video of the two, comparing the two. Because the thing with the Baco is it's a European saw, right? So you cut on the push, whereas the Silky is a Japanese saw, much thinner blade because you cut on the pull. You don't need as much strength, but you do get a lot more control, you know? Balco Laplander, right there. Um, excuse me. Why are they so expensive? What? Not getting that one. Thing is, like, sometimes you come across some stuff on Amazon that is priced way outside of where it should be. So we're just gonna skip right across that. Oh, they have a Silky Big Boy 2000. Those are big saws. Those are like Silkies that are sized more like those traditional forestry saws. I often wonder what one of those would be like to, to. Interesting. Very interesting. So this is the PG-72. I don't know how long that is. I don't know how long that is. But it's an excellent addition to my Bush on YouTube stuff. Like the Baco Laplander is called a pruning saw, but everyone I know who's got one uses it for bush, bush crafting. So it's stuff like that. I keep sort of thinking I'd like to add another lantern, and so that I can just do an episode on what I would love to find is a hot blast hurricane lantern. That's the old. That's the kind earlier than the two that I have. Right, those are cold blast, and the hot blast is the one that's just sort of got like these two pipes across the top. But that's gonna probably be hard to find, and when I do find one, it's probably gonna be pricey as shift. Country Boy is asking Destiny how many personalities she has. Better to ask the hubby. I don't think you should be going there, but it's okay. Destiny says he knows. Country Boy asks, am I the only one who gets a kick out of just struggling with the English? So here's the funny thing about me and the English and the French, okay? I am a very Montreal mix of French Canadian and Scottish, Irish, the usuals. I spent my I spent my formative years in Franco, Manitoba, a little town called St. Boniface, right next to Winnipeg. Now it's all the same city because they got forced amalgamated, like a lot of the cities that were not Montreal ended up being as well. So on the streets, in school, everywhere, we spoke French. Then we moved to Montreal, and thanks to the magic of parental divorce. And children are assholes in many, many ways. They're all magical and they're all precious. Yes. But so I went to a school that was half English, half French. It had an English side and a French side. And I got put on the English side. No. First, I went to a school in La Salle, and then I went to Face. Anyways, in the schoolyard of whichever school, the little Quebecois kids were so mean about my Manitoban French that I just shut the hell up. I didn't speak another word of French outside of a French class. And I'm talking grade 3, okay? I didn't speak another word of French outside of a French class until I was 28, working at Starbucks, and so there was no choice, right? Working at Starbucks on Saint Denis Street, which is not an English street. It's sort of one of the hearts of sort of artistic Montreal. Very French. I mean, there was some English, of course, but you cannot work at a Starbucks in most of Montreal without speaking French. You cannot work at a Second Cup. You cannot work at a McDonald's. You cannot work at a bookstore. You cannot work anywhere facing the public without at least conversational French. And so I woke up my French, and I worked really hard to Quebecicize Quebec. Quebecify, to become more Quebec sounding in my French, so that people would leave me the hell alone. Um, I have I have a certain amount of uh, baggage, but while I was working there, I met the person who now lives with me and has two kids with me. She was straight up francophone and was learning English the exact same way as I was relearning French, right? Working with the public on, in a very public facing job in Montreal. But I mean, I consider myself Anglophone at this point, you know? It was good. The bottle's finished. Um, but anyway, but because we speak sort of a weird melange at home, so I'm sometimes looking for my words no matter what language we're speaking. David is asking if the Nutcracker has arrived. Oh no, he's asking if you got the charcuterie and nuts. She got the nuts, just not the cracker. We'll enjoy his animated English translation. I'm not sure if you guys are making fun of me or not. Fitzy says, wish list ideas for Jess: tea towels for the drinks apron. Really? Another long ass stir stick, Hudson's Bay blankie, Crocs for the drive, and Drum's wardrobe. A chestnut grater, drinks glasses, etc. You know what's funny about that? I still would love a Hudson's Bay blanket. I mean, I'm glad to hear that Canadian Tire is selling them now. No, is it Canadian Tire that's going to be selling them? I don't remember what. But I mean, they're still expensive as hell. I'm still never going to be able to afford a points blanket. It's just, but I am still comforted to know that they're not going away just because the Bay. Look, I wasn't happy to see the Bay go away. I know that historically it's not been a force for good when it comes to relationships with the First Nations. Um, in its later years, it was very actively engaging with that, and in fact, um, the every points blanket sold, uh, the profits went towards Native artists. So I mean, they were trying very hard to. You can never make up for some of what happened, but you can try to lessen the load. So I think it's too bad that department stores are having a hard time of it no matter what, right? The Amazons of the world have just kicked the crap out of brick and mortar stores everywhere. I guess I just figured because the Bay has been around, the Hudson's Bay Company has been around for so long. Like, not only, oh, it's been there my whole life. No, it's been there for a really long time. You know, it was a few hundred years old when it went bankrupt. And like, so that points blanket has just always been an element of Canadiana for me. It's part of our national makeup in many ways. It's kind of part of the visual character of the country. In kind of the same way as I always say that the canoe is to Canada and Canada's history and culture what the covered wagon is to the United States and their history and culture. That, those are both very identifiably, that is very identifiably American, that covered wagon. I mean, we had covered wagons, but the covered wagon did for the United States what the canoe did for Canada. And so the Hudson's Bay blanket has been part of that well, I was going to say for me, but it has been part of that sort of the background noise of being Canadian. So I'm glad that they're not going away, you know? Okay, so Blue Guy said YouTube was changing everyone's handles, right? So you chose something less identifying, but you're still Mark Davidson. Okay, okay. Well, I think that new handle of yours is pretty damn cool. So hi, Mark. Not Mark. Bluegrass. Bigfoot. Not Mark. Less identifying. We don't want to call him Mark. Do we? No. No. Got the Nutcracker. Nice. Nice. Oh, everyone's calling him Mark Davidson now. Come on, man. He's trying to hide his identity. He's like a superhero. Yeah, okay. That's a bad one. I mean, stage 4 cancer is bad no matter how you slice it, but man, even non-stage 4 lung cancer is terrible. Raspberry Rock says, we have a tiny condo cat. Never seen an adult cat that small. Cute little thing. I like me some cats. As I'm sure many of us feel, Destiny's saying we're here for you, Christy. You and your dad are in our daily prayers. Please reach out if you need to talk. I do not pray, but I do think. I keep people in my thoughts. I'm not comfortable saying prayers because to me, for me, being non-religious, it would be um, um, it would not be true coming from me. But I will keep you in my thoughts for sure. David's mother was French Canadian. He had a very traditional French Canadian Christmas Eve, tortilla for dinner, midnight mass, and open one present before going to bed. That's it. Yep. And in fact, I still let my kids open one present before going to bed. We did as well, my sister and I. Absolutely. I do like a nice tortilla. Christy, I've been there. Take a lot of pictures. Whoa. Okay. Okay. I'm going to skip past the next little while here. Russell likes to add a little mashed potato to his mayo. All right, that's weird. Oh, you meant loaded baked potato soup. Uh, what is that? Shawnee says, I think it's the pineapple lifesaver candy cane for me. I've never even heard of some of these flavors. We have some fruity ass mini candy canes up there for the kids that I do not like because they're way too sweet. But we also have some of the traditional peppermint ones for me because I'm a classicist. It's not Richard Burton. No. I think you're right. I think it is Dylan Thomas. I think in my mind, because it's so long ago, that I'm mixing him up with someone else because there were because it had sort of the same timbre as some of the CBC voices used to back then. You know when those voices would come on the radio and like they had the weight to them that classic radio did. You know, and that seems to be kind of missing from radio voices now. Like radio voices are almost too cool. The way they used to have a weight and a gravitas. And like the names of all of these people escape me, you know? Like I think an example that pops into my mind is again for those of you who are Americans. Sorry about this. I will get past this as fast as I can. But ideas. Those of you who listen to the CBC, ideas. I used to love ideas. I still like it. It's currently hosted by Nella Ayed, who I think is very capable. She has a voice for radio. She has a face for TV, though. I will say that right up front. I was like, "Woo, that's not a radio face." But like for me, Lester Sinclair was the voice of ideas for me, and there was someone after him. There was a Kennedy, Paul Kennedy after Lester Sinclair, and now it's Nella Ayed. But man, when I was a lot younger, that guy's voice was the radio for me. You know, and right, another voice of radio for me. Peter Zosky, sort of that's a morning radio voice. Like there was a quality of radio voice historically. Barbara Frum, even, right? I mean, they weren't all male, that's for sure. And I find that the current voices are not, they don't have the same gravitas. It's such a snobby thing to say. They don't have the same gravitas. Do you know what I'm saying? They don't. Anyways, whatever. I sound like an idiot. But yes, I think you're right. I was just mixing up because so many of those voices were happening at that age for me, like during those years for me. I'd like to hear it again. I'd like to listen to it again. I know I can probably find it. I think this year I will absolutely listen to it. Jim says, I made turkey rice and cabbage soup, eating it now instead of a beer. Well, if with certain kinds of beer, that soup would be just as heavy. But that sounds delish. Turkey rice and cabbage. Hello. Russell says, eat your beer and enjoy it. Yep. You can't have your pudding if you don't. It's another brick in the wall. Exactly. If you don't. Destiny is her stage name. I don't know if I want to go where you're going there with that. Christy says, does anyone remember the ribbon candy that got put in a bowl and you needed a chisel to get it apart? No, I don't. I do not remember that. Christy says, my grandmother always had it. My grandma, not the Scottish grandmother, the English one, whatever. The one in my stop. My dad's mom always had a bowl with Scotch mints out. And to this day, if I see a bowl of Scotch mints, I'm like right back in her living room, carpeted living room. I had a little metal army truck back when toys like that were metal instead of plastic. Yeah. Jim wanted a grilled cheese and tomato, but searched the cupboard. No Campbell soup. Campbell soups are like a can of salt. Anyway, I can't eat them. I'm supposed to be low sodium. Really? Jim remembers. Always had someone give it out at Christmas. I don't know this at all. Russell says, my grandma always had a bowl of that licorice candy out. You pick up one piece, the whole lot came with it. I know that stuff. Yep, I know that stuff. Apparently, Susie Q says it was just called ribbon candy. I don't know this stuff. Russell spent his last week trying to remember his audiobook Spanish. How did that work out for you? Jim says it was pearlescent hard candy, mostly pearl white and red and green. But it's the ribbon thing that I'm having a hard time remembering. Russell said, in my stocking every year right at the bottom was an orange, an apple, and some of that hard candy. So no oranges or that particular candy in my stockings, but always clementines, maybe tangerines. I think it was clementines. We always had like 2 or 3 clementines in our stockings. We still do, and our kids always have a couple of clementines in their stockings as well. I don't know what it is about those orange citrus that tastes so Christmassy. Jim says sounds like my stocking. David says we got citrus in our stockings too. Christy's asking the same thing as I was. Were you successful in the audiobook memory, Russell? Uno más, por favor? Don't you mean una cerveza, por favor? So it's not really, but he did discover that Ray, Destiny, Ray knows a lot of Spanish. Mi amor. Holy crap. We're having our big Christmas Friendsgiving cookout this weekend. I read that word as something else, and I was like, what are you on about? This weekend that David and Pam are going to miss. Look for delicious pictures this weekend. That sounds delicious. There's Destiny. Does he know us? Russell's as if anyone was curious about what else Ray is good at. Does Ray even know that he's like a constant source of conversation on my live streams? Destiny. No, Christy. Really, right. What Ray, what Russell. Hello. Why should I be surprised? He knows everything. Excuse me. Ah. Russell says, by the way, all the underwater filming that is going to be in my next video was filmed by Ray. Sounds to me like you guys had a nice getaway. I'm just going to sort of skip a little bit because I just saw what time it is. Jim says, time to grab my knife and fork. Beer me, Marge. Chrissy says that I should Google loaded baked potato soup. It is so easy. I will look it up. It has bacon, cheese, green onion, sour cream, potatoes, chicken broth. That does sound like a weird concoction, though. Pillow candy. Yeah, I know that. I know pillow candy. Pillow candy brings me back. Yeah, I see where you guys are going with this. Yeah. For sure. For sure, eh? Tenenbaum says, my life is a work in progress. Mine is as well, let me tell you. I think it just sort of stays that way, doesn't it? I love it. Russell says, Tenenbaum, what chapter are you on? I know he's just trying to be a brat, but that's actually a great question. Fizzy says, new Hallmark movie starring Ray. Mi amor. Mi amore. When the ray hits your eye like a big piece of pie, that's Shut up, Jesse. Ray's movie, Destiny is the damsel in distress. Well, I've caught up with the end of the chat. Oh, my land, I caught up with the chat. I'm going to have to pour myself a whiskey to celebrate that. So, what am I thinking? Irish? Let's take a poll, but without doing the actual poll. Should I go until 11:15 and have one more dram? Everybody sound off like right now. Tenenbaum, unclear. I love it. Okay. No, I didn't know what the hell ribbon candy is, but I know what pillow candy is for sure. For sure. I keep saying for sure. Like I'm from Ontario. For sure. Oh, yeah, eh, bud? Peanut Trucker says, drink. But I mean, that means we're stuck here until 11:15, and you all are going to stick here with me till the bitter end. Fitzy says, yes. 11:15. Sure thing. Uh-oh. Destiny, listen to this. Russell says, imagine the Hoff running across the beach in full lifeguard gear, except it's Ray, muscles pumping. This is getting crazy. You know what? I'm going to do a little bit of the peated because for me, what has developed in my little tasty buds is that peated scotch is my cold weather, like my dark half of the year preference, whereas unpeated is what I like in the summer months, later in the spring, early fall. I mean, we're still kind of are we still in fall? Are we really? I don't know, because I've had some drinks. Boo. That is a beautifully peated beverage. Hold on, let me get that there. Hiding my damn face. The Port Charlotte, heavily peated, Islay single malt. This is the 2013 edition, or vintage, I guess. Yeah, I like peat in the dark half of the year and non-peat in the brighter half of the year for sure. Fitzy, I can't do that. It's just I just keep seeing Fitzy on the screen. Sorry, it's troubling. That's what it is. It's troubling. I added something to my wish list because I thought we would talk about it, but I don't damn remember. Yeah. So, anyways, that's my plan. Set up like a to buy list over the next year, and when the possibilities arise again, because I must underspend this year. So when I'm back to having a little bit of freedom, instead of just I got money, let's just buy something, like I will buy with intent the stuff for those videos. I'll check out eBay or whatever for like a classic 70s era, or it doesn't have to be from the 70s, so long as the design has not, so long as it's something that whatever age it was designed that way in the 70s, right? So it could be a bag from 1981, but it hasn't changed since 1976. The design, something like that. And for the Nesmith trio, I will decide on the specific Nesmith knife I want. I kind of think it's that Brisa, but I'm unsure. And then when there's money again, I'll just buy it. Buy that one. I won't be like, oh, what am I getting? Because I do like when it comes to, it's the kind of thing I usually do for purchases that are heavy. Like I have spent now years looking at canoes so that when I'm ready to drop the money, I will know exactly what, and I will have no regrets. Like, oh, I should have bought the other one instead of this. That's not going to happen because I've already settled on one of two. But I mean, I will be able to just flip a coin and I'll know that either of them are what I wanted and will do everything I need. Is anyone else having a second dram? Though I'm technically having a third. Cheers again to Bigfoot and the new name. Chris has the second most evil idea I have heard this year. Everybody changed their handle to Fitzy and a number after it. No, for God's sakes, no. That would be a nightmare for a guy with a messed up brain like mine. There's just no way that would work for me. I thought I heard the Discord go bleep, but there's nothing there. So forget about it. Forget about it. Yeah, I want to get back to shooting videos. I want to shoot something. I don't want to just shoot another hike video. I mean, I don't mind shooting the hike videos, but I mean, I want to do some cool stuff. I want to do that 70s video. I want to do that. I want to do that Nesmic series. I think I can pull 3 videos together out of that. My original plan was for 4, but nope, nope. That's just nope. That's just milking it for all it's worth and then some. If I won the lottery, I would do a full Nesmic video, like the tent style he used. That all that. Country Boy is still sipping on his first Rita whiskey. Can't throw it away. It's growing on me. Well, I'm glad that it's growing on you. I figured, sometimes when it sort of throws you at first, if you sort of come at it from another angle, then you can get along with it. I say sometimes because I have been unable to get along with that freaking English smoky. That is just way too much Band-Aid for me. Oh my land. You guys, that's even worse. Well, actually, it's not worse. It's funny, but it's not worse because then I could still figure out who's who. But like if you guys were all like Fitzy 123, Fitzy 124, Fitzy 125, I'd be like, no. Nobody suggested anything I should add to my purchase list though. Nobody suggested like bushcraft stuff. I mean, reasonably priced. I'm still dying for that hot tent I told you guys about, like last year. It's just hard to justify the purchase until I know I'm gonna be able to get away for a weekend. Like I know that the madame is not going to be working the weekend, and that hasn't happened this year. That didn't happen almost last year either. Yeah, I miss it. Gotta get back at it because I mean I can't. I feel that I can't watch my favorite bushcraft or camping channels because they just keep reminding me that I'm not out there and doing cool stuff. Hearts of Space. Welcome to my ASMR channel. I don't know why I keep doing that. I'd probably make bank as an ASMR channel, except that I'm not a killer looking 20 something woman in a low cut dress. So hard living this life. It's I do occasionally listen to ASMR because like if I'm just having too hard a time shutting the brain down, I find that the not everything like the whispering and like whatever and that but there's something about tapping. Like there's something about like tapping on things that just like and I'm out. It's what used to really knock me out is every time I went to get my hair cut and they're brushing and they're washing and they're combing and they're snipping and this what? It's done? Yeah, it looks great. How long was I out? Ooh. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's something about um Camille when because I used to say to Camille, yes, I'm gonna read you 3 books, but then I have to get up. And then while I'm reading the book, she would start doing this. Forget it. And I was out. Out. I'd wake up at like 3. It's like, she did it again. Because then I wouldn't have gotten my nightly stuff done at all. This week, in fact, on last night, I believe, um, I was reading the Squeak some stories, and she's like this warm little furnace, right? I mean, she's still tiny for her age, but she's like this little. She radiates this heat. She's this little furnace. So I was reading her books, and then I woke up at like almost 2. I needed to get certain things done, so I sort of got up and mm, did some of what I had to, and it's just like I gotta go back to bed, man. I can't be up till 4, not on a work night. even though I fell asleep at like 9:30. So then I just went back to bed. But excuse me. Hold on. Where was I? Where the hell was I? Darn burn it. Chrissy says, not growing on you that fast since you're still on your first. Hey, some of us can make a dram of whiskey last a long time, okay? When I'm on screen, no, because I'm not giving it the time and attention it deserves. There's a touch of Band-Aid in this, but it's not enough to piss me off. Not like that English smoky. There's a brininess to it that I love, though. I love briny tastes. I love smoky tastes. I like peat. I don't love the iodine. And the iodine happens in a lot of peated whiskeys. SV Jim Raven Flintlock says not fond of the ASMR whisper. Yeah, the whisper I don't love. I can handle it. What I don't like is some ASMR videos are about mouth sounds. So like they really try to make mouth sounds while they're like nope. Nope. I have never been able to handle someone who makes mouth sounds while they're talking. You can hear sort of a as they're talking. If I'm listening to a radio interview and somebody's making mouth sounds, I have to turn that shit off. Oh, I did say a bad word, but it's okay. We are way past the first 8 seconds of the video, so I think we're okay. David says, I must put Midnight Knife buying on my list. Well overdue. Not this year. I cannot do it for 2026. I'm in way too much trouble. I'm not in trouble, but I mean, I need to build. Peanut Trucker says, we are only on the earth for a short time. Go out in the woods, get on a bike, reboot, clear the mind, take in the clear, cool air, enjoy the outdoors before you burn out. I have burnt out before, and I will tell you, if you have not yet burnt out, I cannot recommend it. Because once you burnt out once, you may burn out again. As soon as you start to feel burnout coming on, make a change. Exactly as Chris is talking about here. Do a little forest bathing, just anything to switch your mind. Take a vacation, take a few days to yourself, something like that. Hold on, who? Jim, you going? I'm. We got just another 5. We're only got another 5 minutes. Just another 5 minutes. Country Boy says, like Jess said, I was disappointed in it when I first tasted it because it didn't live up to its description. I'm starting to appreciate it for what it is, though, and not what it said it was. That is the key right there. That's it, Scott. That's the key. I will when I'm retired. I'm already tired. Okay. All right. Good night. Holy snap! Zach is here. All hail the ale. And I'm super late. I'm working on gifting wet shaving to my close family. Wet shaving. As a dedicated wet shaver, I like what I'm reading. You gifting soaps or razors? I really need to resharpen my one of my razors, and one of my razors needs to be reground because there's a notch out of it. Drives me crazy. Don't even know where that came from, but anyway. I mean, Zach, you're here for the last 4 minutes. All right, yeah, okay. All right, good night, Jim. I can appreciate that. I would love to crawl into bed right now. I cannot. I have things to do before I go to sleep. Everyone's saying good night to Jim, so I'm going to. Oh, Chris has burnt out more than once years ago. Now you unplug. Yeah, man, the feeling of burnout once I recognized what was happening was so devastating that you gotta keep an eye on that. You gotta. Jim says peer pressure. Okay, 5 minutes. Sorry, man. Sorry, or peat pressure. It's only 3 minutes now. Anyway, Zach, I'm glad to hear you again. I haven't seen you in a minute. I still have not played Fallout 74. I loved season 1 of the TV series. I canceled my Amazon because, fuck the oligarchs. And now I'm like, yeah, but this means I can't watch season 2. So I may have to, I don't know, visit someone who's got Amazon or something. Destiny says, thank you for tonight's live, Jess. Bonsoir, everyone, and bisous. Travel safe, Peanut Trucker. Take care, Christy. Send our love to your dad. I second that. I think he's going to be in my thoughts. I don't even know him, but I do know what you're living through right now, Christy, and it's worth a few thoughts. Destiny, I look forward to your opinions on the things that I am adding to my list over the next little while, because I realize I've emptied the list, but I will rebuild it. Christy says, oh wait, hold on. Zach says, soaps, razors, and brushes. Italian Barber still has their Black Friday sale on. All soaps and aftershaves are cheaper than Perasso. That's cool. I wish I could afford another straight razor. I think you should always have like 2 or 3 on the go, so that as one gets dull and is waiting to go, to get stropped up and sharpened back up, you've got another one on the go. I have 2, but only one working right now. But anyway, Christy says, oh, Christy's out. Okay, everyone, good night. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, and please be kind to everybody everywhere. Night to you, Destiny. Okay, good night. We're only on for 1 more minute, so, we'll just... Russell says, has some very sweet dreams. I agree. Yeah. Oh, you're doing double edge. Okay. I'm a straight razor guy, but I do have a double edge for if I'm in a bit of a hurry, because I have done some damage to myself trying to hurry with a straight razor, let me tell you. Chris says, good night, everyone. Safe week. See y'all next week. Zach, do you have any like really classical, like almost, do you have any vintage doubles? I keep meaning to try to get a vintage, but I don't know what I'm looking for. Zach says, I'm too caffeinated for straights. It took me a long time to stop really slicing myself up with the straight, but I was dedicated. I was dedicated because those multi-blade monsters like gave me this huge like razor burn, like red the whole damn thing. And I had read somewhere that the straight razor doesn't, because it's just one razor, so you're not like scraping and scraping and scraping with one swipe. And in my opinion, that is true. But those doubles will do the same thing for sure. For sure. But I can't believe Dave's still here. David, what the hell? I mean, I'm happy. All right. Good night, Jim. Sleep well. I hope. Oh yeah, it's 11:16. Okay, so here's the thing. We're done. We're out. Because I said I would go to 11:15 to finish off this dram, the dram that I wasn't planning to have anyway. So for those of you who are left, I can't believe there are 15 of you who are still here. Like, have I? I'm always shocked because I feel that I'm just boring everybody to tears. Like when I go down a rabbit hole or something, I'm like, why am I talking about this? Just move on, kind of thing. But anyways, to all 50 of you who have stuck it up to the bitter end, I am thrilled that you're still here. I appreciate the eyes and the comments that keep popping up. We have Country Boy saying good night to all. Love to all those who need it this time of year. It can be rough, and I get it. Take care, friends. Absolutely, Scott. Absolutely. That's a great sign off. Oh, Zach says, I just want to show this first. Still looking for your dad's birthday razor, 1977 Gillette adjustable. Since he's passed, it will be his memorial razor. I hope you find it. No, Russ, I cannot. I'm a single dad this week, and I got to make sure those kids are ready to go tomorrow. because the missus is anyway, cannot give too many details. Online, blah 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 blah. She's away this week, so it's just me and all the kitties. By which I mean 2 kitties, but they feel like all the kitties sometimes. Back on track. Between now and next Tuesday. What's the date next Tuesday? We're the 2nd. Okay, so next Tuesday is not Christmas or anything. Okay, so between now and next Tuesday, for a couple of you, I'm thinking about you and your loved ones. As for all the rest of us, please, everybody, be safe, be sane, be, what do I say? Be healthy and be kind to one another. Good enough. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me till the bitter end.